It's not showing up there yet, but sure.
That's what it
Hello?
says we're doing.
Are we here?
Yes.
Excellent. Welcome to Roll for Intelligence. Hey, we're on the internet, on our very own Twitch channel, which for some reason isn't updating for me when I'm looking at it. So I'm just going to assume that we're live and that you're there and that I'm not talking to nobody. So before we get in, I've got a few things we should cover. First up, I want to start with what Mum. Great timing to call me exactly at this moment. First up, I want to start with just a quick shout out to a good friend of the show and the person responsible for almost all of the amazing art that you've ever seen us use. The background we have today is not by him. It would be much better if it was. But Azza from Happy Dance Creative has started a new YouTube channel that you should all look at. It's called Draw Time. Just put it into YouTube, Draw Time with an exclamation mark, one word, no space. He recently did a video telling you how to draw butts, and it was incredible. So you should go check that out. All right. So we are, as you hopefully know. Actually, no. I hope you don't know. I hope you're a complete stranger. I hope this is the first time you've ever encountered us. D&D inspired live play comedy improv thing. We usually do live shows when the world is in such a way that we can go outside. We usually do them at the wonderful Smith's Alternative here in Canberra. But because we're in lockdown, we thought we'd move this online. And because we're moving this online, we're going to change things up a bit. And usually we play a very rules pared back, very low, like D&D in theme only almost. But this time I'm going to force some rules on the rest of my players. We're not playing D&D, we're actually playing a completely different game, which is called Monster of the Week. So Monster of the Week is a RPG by a guy called Michael Sands. It's a powered by the Apocalypse game, which means it runs on the Apocalypse World engine, which is another RPG. There's a lot of RPGs out there. Point is, this one is about sort of emulating the feel of your Monster of the Week style TV show. So I'm talking your Buffys, your Supernaturals, your X-Files, things like that. And all these powered by the Apocalypse games are all designed around the idea of really encouraging playing to a genre. They're much more narrative focused and they sort of do what we do. So it's not as rules heavy as D&D. There's only one type of roll you do. It's 2d6s. Everything is done with 2d6s. You know, you don't have to roll for damage. You don't have different sized dice. Everything is just very simple. And there's a lot of them out there. If you are keen to play RPGs, and D&D always looked a bit intimidating, have a look. There's a few out there, and they're all on different themes. There's ones like, so this is, like I said, Monster of the Week, but there's, you know, a new one coming out soon, which is just being kickstarted, which is the one for Avatar: The Last Airbender is working on this engine. There's another popular one is Masks: A New Generation, which is about teenage superheroes. There's one called Thirsty Sword Lesbians, which I assume is about thirsty sword lesbians. I haven't read that one yet. They do a bunch. It's really cool. Also, I should mention, I've never done this before. I haven't even finished reading the book. Doesn't matter. That's the point about playing games with your friends. It doesn't matter. You just use this as a base to tell stories with your friends and have fun, and that's what we're going to do. So, before I throw it to my friends, that's where I was going with that. It would have been a really, really smooth segue there. But I will take a moment to mention we are doing this for free because we want to, because we miss each other and we miss you and we want to do fun things. We would normally be charging for this at Smith's, but you are welcome to watch this for free. If you watch it and enjoy it and feel like helping us out and keeping the Roll for Intelligence kitty from slowly draining, so that we can, you know, use it to do cool stuff and pay amazing artists to do cool things for us and all of that, we have a coffee or a Ko-fi, or I don't know how you say it. I've only ever seen it. That thing where you can tip people. So if you look in the Facebook event page, it's down the bottom. But you can just go to ko-fi.com, which is ko-fi, ko-fi.com, coffee. I think I'm going to say Ko-fi. and then we're roll for intelligence, all one word on there. All right, and we should get started. So I'm going to try and do this in the order like people would be sitting on the stage if we were still where we're supposed to be, which I believe means that first up, I will introduce camera, celebrity, poet, Andrew. I'm going to gesture in a direction, but I can't see which way you are. Andrew, how are you?
Good.
Excellent. All right. And tonight you are playing one of our characters. I should mention as well, Monster of the Week, instead of classes like you'd have in something like D&D, like Wizard or Mage, instead you have sort of story archetypes. So, you know, if you were in this, you can have different sort of archetypes. This one you're playing is the Crooked. If people know the game, they would know what Crooked is about, but you're someone with a bit of a shady past. What's your name?
My name is just Chris. And when you say shady,
You don't think
You're
that's
like-
fair?
I provide a valuable service.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What service was that?
I find things. I get people killed. I find people who happen to be killed.
Yeah.
I will sell things that need to be sold, uncover information. I'm a fixer. If you've got a problem, I fix that problem.
Right. Right. So I can imagine scenarios where all of those services would be useful,
Well, they're not all shady.
but most of the scenarios are not
I can fix that. I can fix a daylight problem too.
Right. Yeah. Fair. So you lived this life where you've got skills and connections, but you've taken up with your family. So here is where we start to understand our basic conceit here. You and your family travel around together in a van, solving mysteries, a la Scooby-Doo, but without a talking dog. What led you to give up your not so shady past and take up a life of solving spooky mysteries?
A few things. At 70 years of age, I've pursued a long career of fixing in the mundane world, and when I uncovered that there was a parallel world that's integrated with ours, so I don't know if parallel is the right word, maybe a parallel-integrated world of terrifying, maybe sometimes not terrifying monsters that sometimes eat people and do other things and sometimes maybe do nice things. I don't know. I felt like I had to investigate, uncover. So I could sell things to these people, services, and also maybe sell what they offer to other people. But also my son is pursuing this life. I also have a distant cousin pursuing this life, and I feel like I may be related to the third person in the van, but I can't remember because I'm 70. Am I?
You are all related, yeah. All right. So, Just Chris. That's the full name. Just Chris.
Just Chris.
Just Chris. Audience. We are. I said at the start, we are a comedy improv thing, and to legally, if we're going to call ourselves that, we do have to take audience suggestions. Twitch chat is open. So, time for an audience suggestion. Now, Just Chris has, from his shady past and not so shady past, he's passed in a variety of shades. Just Chris went on a lot of adventures, and did a lot of things that, maybe he prefers to forget. Some he legitimately forgets. But there's one thing in his past that still haunts him, and he still actually, he feels quite guilty inside about. And, it sort of drives him to do better. What could it be? All right. Found his mother's porn stash? Mugged a baby. Forehead tattoo. Are you able to see these, Just Chris?
Yep.
There's some rich babies out there. Oh, left your dog behind when you ran away from home. That's just sad. I'm gonna go with mugged a baby.
That's
At
what I
some
would
point,
have
you
gone with.
mugged a baby, and that's the
Healing.
point you went, you know what?
My,
I should spend more time with my son.
am I supposed to feel shame over having mugged a baby?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess it's up to you. But whatever it is, it was a catalyst event for you. All right.
I can't remember your initial question. Was this something I will never forget? Is that how you
Something
framed
that
it?
sort of drove you to change your ways, I'd say.
Baby mugging. All right.
Yeah. So that's where we've gone.
Does this mean I'm going to mug other babies or not mug other babies? I guess that's up to me.
Yeah. See, I can work that in. Right. Now I'm gonna do this because this is what we do when we're live, and you're just gonna have to play along at home, and I'll be able to tell if you don't. Big round of applause for Andrew and Just Chris. Beautiful. All right. Now, our next performer is the wonderful Canberra celebrity writer Sharona. And hello, Sharona. Sharona, you are playing the Flake, which is like the conspiracy theorist.
Yes.
And you are Mox Folder. Can you tell us a little about Mox Folder?
Yeah, of course. So, I was a longish level bureaucrat for a long time, just sort of putting things from one folder to another. And I saw some things in those folders that I shouldn't have seen. And, I had to leave the bureaucracy, but it's okay because I found some great people who also know that the truth is buried and people are trying to hide it, and we can figure it out. So, yeah, that's where I've come from.
Mm-hmm. And so you left your low-level bureaucratic job to become a monster hunter and hang out with your family in a van.
Yes, correct.
Has that proven, like, how... Is the job security better? Like, how's it compare, financially speaking?
Well, I mean, it's not really job security because there's no jobs. So I would say it's good because, you can't really, doesn't exist anymore. But it's great. It's like every day's an adventure. Just like living my best life. I'm always seeing evidence of aliens, which is cool. And of potential different monsters. I'm making notes in my compendium.
Nice.
So yeah, it's really, you have to follow your passion in life sometimes.
Well, it's going to get very Canberra-based humour for a moment here, but it occurred to me after I asked that. I'm like, you know what? At least the van probably doesn't require, like, every 3 months you don't have to see if you can still stay in the van. So, pretty little more
Exactly.
pure, really.
Your
That's
family
nice.
can't kick you out.
Exactly. All right, now, Mox Folder is, after their career has left, and I want to know what it was they saw in the folder that made them leave, audience. This is your chance. What? Oh man, there's a lot going on in here. All right. What did Mox Folder find in a folder? Again, we have Mum's porn stash. But why did the government have it? Oh, I like that one.
I want to know.
Naked photos of Skaner Dolly. Themselves in the future. Ooh. All right. I have no idea how you're going to work this one in. Tasteful fang nudes. Yes, you found photos of naked fairies, and you realized there was more to this world than people had been letting on. Beautiful. All right. And now you're on the hunt. The truth, the hot naked fairies are out there, and
I
you're
want to
just
see
trying to prove to everyone that hot naked fairies exist. All right. Round of applause for Sharona. And then next on the table is usually where Ewan sits, but I would be there in this scenario. So I'm going to put Ewan in my spot and mention Ewan, but then move straight on. No, we'll just go with Ewan, because I've said it like 5 times now. Ewan! Big round of applause for Ewan!
Hello.
Ewan, hello. You are playing the mundane, which is a person who is just a
There.
person. You're you're like the
The Xander, but I'm not the worst.
Xander.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and your name is Avery Bourne. Now, how did Avery Bourne end up rolling with his monster hunting family?
Well, Avery Bourne used to work in a takeaway shop, and one of their friends came around, and there was an incident involving. Well, I don't want to spoil someone else's character introduction, but I'm sure you can guess what it was involving based on our little character templates and possibly some makeup involved. That was his first real experience with the supernatural, and he discovered that not all the things are bad, and some of the things are. So he's helping the not bad things and trying to stop the bad things.
How do you feel about your father getting involved?
Look, Dad went away, and that was a bit of a problem. He's done some shady things. I'm trying to be reasonable about this. So we're seeing how he goes. As long as the ceramicware and the infants' faces don't interface anymore, because that was kind of not a good thing. But we'll see.
Some kids just look at you judgy.
They do. That is true. Potentially lots of kids in this game because it's spooky themed, because we're getting to the spooky season. All right, so you are the mundane, and I'm going to assume that you're enthusiastic about your work, but you've got a bit of starting to develop a bit of a complex, because you're not necessarily as good at fighting the monsters or investigating the monsters or discovering where the monsters are, or tracking, or interviewing people about the monsters, or
they get the hint. They understand.
Patching yourself up after you've been attacked by a monster. You're not the best at any of these, and it might after a while might start. You are, however, probably the best at getting kidnapped by the monsters.
I'm excellent at that.
Yeah, audience, I'd like to know what the most embarrassing moment of Avery's monster hunting career is. The time when a monster, like the most embarrassing monster to have kidnapped him, maybe, or something along similar lines. Okay, I'm just calling you cannon fodder. That's cool. That's very, very fair. Kidnapped by his mum's pawns. There's a theme. Is everyone okay?
No.
You spent a lot of times at home, and have you found things in your homes that you weren't prepared to find?
I was just sorry. I was being mean to someone. Sorry, Mima. Sorry.
You stole their line.
I feel bad now.
wanted to be kidnapped.
You don't feel bad about the police.
I thought I was paying homage, but I feel like I just stole the comedy line.
They were even doing a multi-part thing.
I know.
You got kidnapped by a possessed doll, not a particularly creepy one, just like a Barbie doll.
Barbie.
Yeah. You once brought home a monster you caught, but it was just a rock.
I was probably really proud of myself too.
Yeah, I think
And I've still got the rock because I know it's going to change any day now. The monster's going to reveal itself.
You're looking at this rock. We're going to go with that. You've got a rock. You've got it in a small cage. You keep trying to organize shifts to keep an eye on it overnight. You just won't admit that you picked up a rock. All right. Big round of applause for Ewan. Good applause. Thank you. All right. And finally, moving across the table. Ooh, got a hand up. We're about to the last.
Has he still got the pet rock? I didn't quite.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. All right, I did write that down. I just want to confirm. All right.
All right. And finally, we come to. Sorry, I didn't introduce you as your Canberra celebrity. Canberra celebrity, pun master. Ooh, Pungeon master. I should have gone with that. I was too slow. You would have gotten it straight away.
Haven't yet.
And then we get to our last Canberra celebrity of the night. Canberra celebrity anime protagonist, Helen.
Clapping for myself, isn't it? This should be the royal wave.
Yeah, do a little bit of a bow.
Mm-hmm.
Helen, you are playing the monstrous. This is the
Sure am.
The member of the party who, this could be your Spike in Buffy. The memo, is has a monster inside them. Your
I
name.
am my own monster.
Yeah. What monster is inside of you?
Well, I mean, like I am the monster. And that monster is a were raccoon.
Yeah, you're a were raccoon. How did you become a were raccoon?
Trash.
Like, you just overexposure?
Like, you're kind of digging around, and then you're doing some dumpster diving, and, next thing you know, you're, like, fighting over an old sandwich with a raccoon, and, like, it, like, bites you, and then you wake up, and, it happens to people, it's a thing. We're out there.
So you were already into trash before you became inflicted with your raccooniness.
Like a little bit, like a person's got to eat,
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
really like it's really like an environmentally sustainable way to get by.
Yeah. So you've I mean, really, this character's a cautionary tale about what happens when we let the certain parts of our society fall by the wayside. We don't keep an eye on them. They end up in the trash, and then you end up with were-raccoonism.
Yeah, yeah, but like it's okay, like I not much has really changed, so it's fine.
As a were-raccoon, what does this mean? So do you have multiple forms?
Yeah, so I can transform myself. I have a few different forms. And just kind of depending on the situation and my mood and how hungry I am and that kind of thing.
Okay. You don't have to wait for the full moon?
Like, that's when I don't have control over it.
Obviously, that makes sense. All right. So, audience. So mayonnaise had already had a lot of very raccoon-like habits when they changed. But they weren't nearly as likely to bite people in the past. And as much as mayonnaise has tried to keep her curse to herself, she has at one point let slip and bitten someone else and spread the curse. And this thought haunts her, as does the actual other were-raccoon, who believes if they kill her, they will be cured. Who is Mayonnaise's raccoon nemesis? The chat. Peter Tutton, Craig Kelly.
Biting some real trash there. I mean, did I say that aloud? Whoops.
People are just
These are just real people. Ham.
a ham.
Just
A
a
ham.
whole ham.
The ham occasionally turns into a raccoon, but then turns back into ham. Mustard.
Voldemort.
Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, they also ran Hemsworth, so people don't notice.
Avery's mum.
All right. Any of these speaking out? Batman.
I believe as
raccoon.
DM, you get final say on this.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a raccoon that now has the power to turn into a person and comes hunting for you. Yeah, I'm into it. It could be. How could you tell? They can blend into everyone else. Just this completely naked person running around on all fours. They won't see me coming, and I'll have all the powers of a human.
It's just me when I'm hungry.
All right. Big round of applause for Helen, who is there on my screen, but probably not on yours. Wait, oh, there's a lag. I have to wait. Am I pointing the right way? I'm going to wait until it catches up. Come on.
You're there.
No, that lag's too long. I give up. That's not fun anymore. All right. So, we've met our players. It's time to set our scene.
Oh, hang on. Sorry. It's my standard thing
Says there's no
where I
sound.
copy things. I'm about to make the sound. There we go. There's sound now.
I'm back.
Hello?
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. I think I'm good. Let's see.
Yep.
All right. I don't know where we cut off. So we'll go back to the start. Our family are a group of monster hunters known as Mysteries First. They travel around solving supernatural mysteries. Some of them because they definitely need to keep on the move so their past doesn't catch up with them. Some of them because they believe in the mission. Some of them because they have something they're looking for. Some of them because they probably shouldn't be left alone in the condition they're in. Maybe all of them have all those motivations. So we'll discover. But they travel around the place. They've been doing this a while. I imagine we're in like season 4 of our TV show at this point. There was a really strong conceit about why they were traveling at the start, but the show did okay, so now they've just kept dragging it on. And we're just getting into weird episodes now. This week, our episode opens with a shot of a spooky manor on a hill. Lightning strikes in the background. Bats fly off from the sound on the ceiling. And we zoom past our camera. This is a TV show. We've got a camera and it's zooming past and goes past a window. Inside the window, you see a horrific creature. Flesh covered, face distorted, way too many eyes appearing around the head, a large hanging jaw, body moving at weird angles, limbs twisted. It shuffles around the place as we zoom in through the window, and we see its arms move in almost a way that seems to like they're broken in places they shouldn't be, reaching behind. The camera zooms around to the back and shows that they're reaching for a zip on a costume. We cut to our title sequence, which, if we had a much better budget, we'd have one. It's amazing. And then we cut to our episode. Our heroes pull up at the mansion. It's starting to get dark. They have been booked by the owner of this mansion and this business, one Donald Valentine, whose persona he goes by in his business is Baron Harrowden. The Harrowden Manor is a famous haunted house that has been around for a long time. It used to operate very much on that, come on in, we'll tell you the story of this place as we lead you through, tell you about the horrible events that have happened here, and there might be a little bit of a sound cue somewhere, lead people through, get them out. And that used to do quite well, but over the years, everyone's sort of seen it. There's no new audiences. Kids aren't coming in, and money's been tight. The owner, Donald Valentine, has put a lot of effort into completely rebuilding this place, making it this really high-tech, multimedia horror experience, and he's hoping to sort of revamp interest in the place. It doesn't operate during term times. It only opens in the holidays. The staff come in, they stay there during the holidays. They have their own rooms and they work at night and they have their own time during the day. But it's been closed halfway through this holiday season because 3 of the staff have vanished mysteriously. And so you have been called in to solve this spooky mystery. You pull up out the front, you head in, and you are greeted by greeting is probably a strong term, actually. You are acknowledged by a receptionist sitting behind a desk in the foyer area of this beautiful old manor that you find yourself in. Beautiful, but very run down. Partly, you can't tell how much of it is intentionally run down and how much is their intentional aesthetics of trying to make this place seem old and spooky. But a young woman in her 20s, black hair, sits there behind the counter and goes, "Yeah, so you are... what do you want?"
We're here to investigate. and I turn on the charm.
Ooh, okay. You're here to investigate what?
The mysterious disappearances. You're called in by Don.
Right. And she looks around on her desk and picks up a post-it note and looks at it and goes, "Yeah, I guess I was told you were coming." Picks up a phone, leans into it and goes, "Donald, those people you called are here." "No, I'm not calling you that." She hangs up and then just goes back to completely ignoring you at her desk, typing away on her computer. A few moments later, a older gentleman emerges, dressed in a tails coat, dark red shirt, bow tie, his hair silver and pulled back, looking very refined, and he enters with a dramatic flair, opening a door and sort of slinking into the room, doing his best, almost sort of Bela Lugosi move in, like, "Welcome, mysteries first, to Harrington Manor, the most haunted place on the coast."
Can you just like hold that pose for a second, and then I'm gonna try like take a selfie with him,
Oh, yes, of course.
I'm
and then just like
I'm gonna pull out my like EMF reader while this is happening and just sort of start like
Right.
scanning around.
Your
I
EMF.
upload it to my stories with like hashtag vibes.
Nice. Your EMF reader, does that actually work?
Yes.
Okay, you tell me. So this sounds like you're investigating. Here's where we get to how the game works. So there are a number of moves that everyone can do. And when people make a move, they roll 2d6. And they add their relevant stat. And any other things. 2d6, if they end up with a 7 and above, they succeed. If it's a 7 to 9, they succeed with a cost. And that's basically all the rules. So give us a... this sounds like a investigate a mystery situation. So that's roll plus sharp.
All right. I came in with a 9, and I
Ooh.
have +2 sharp.
So that ends up a completely unqualified success. All right.
Which never happens to me in these
Good
shows.
start.
Never.
Good start.
So the way this works is if you get a full success, you get to ask 2 questions and get answers, assuming those answers can be found. Now, let's try this. What are you looking for?
So, with the EMF reader, I'm looking for any sort of spikes in EMF. But yeah, any sort of like unusual readings that sort of indicate there might be some supernatural activity around. To kind of
Okay.
qualify his statement about being the most haunted house in the country.
You move this around the place, and there is something here. Sort of a general all-around spookiness at the moment, but there's something here. This is not an ordinary house. Now, the second one you get, I'm going to throw this one to the audience. Audience, think of a question, and I will answer one of them. Something that could be learned through a EMF reader. This is one of those things where the delay is going to get me. Ooh. How many Wi-Fi networks does this place have running? I'm going to go, actually, I'm going to use that one. So, you can see, because I'm going to say this is something you plug into your phone. So while you're using the app, you get the little connect to local Wi-Fi thing popping up. And you can see that there is a staff account, a guests open account, and that neither of them are particularly good. But your reader is showing that there is a lot of Wi-Fi signals going around here, and you suspect there are a number of hidden Wi-Fi accounts.
I flip open my book and I make some little notes in there. I have to have a separate, like a paper book with like a little reporter book with like a pen. So
Yeah, but they
I
can't
don't
track.
trust the internet. Yeah.
So we'll come back to you turning on the charm in a moment, just Chris. But I'll quickly check. Avery, what are you doing while you're in here?
I'm paying attention. I'm making sure that Dad doesn't have that look in his eye and checking to see if there are any like mugs or other cylindrical sort of things around, ceramic things. I'm also
Proving
seeing if there's
danger.
anywhere I can like stick my nose in. So maybe if there's a maybe a door that's been left open behind someone, or there's a corridor that with like a keep out sign that I can maybe sneak into.
So there is two sets of stairs on both sides of the entrance. This big foyer bit going up to the second floor. This place is 3 floors. You don't know whether there's
Cool.
a basement or not. There is multiple doors on both sides of this room. One behind the reception desk. There are 2 corridors at the back that have little ropes going across them saying staff only.
Mhm.
So there is a number of areas here that as of yet you have not been invited to look at.
I think I
All right.
want to investigate the staff only, like head in that direction.
All right, you go wander over there. We'll cut back to just Chris. So you're turning on the charm.
I was. That was to the receptionist. So I
Oh,
want
my
to do something
apologies.
different with Donald. Yeah, so I'll do something different with Donald. We just blew past her. That's fine. She wasn't important, obviously, as an NPC. So we can ignore her.
It wasn't very social. I'll give you that.
So I just want to know, I want to work out if Donald is an honest person or a dishonest person. So I presume that's sharpness rather than charm. But I'm happy to go with charm if I want to suss out his general disposition.
Well, how are you working this out?
Well, I've dealt with a lot of people who've been dishonest, a lot of people who've been honest. I've dealt with a lot of criminals and working out if what they're telling me is being upfront or not. So I want to apply that skill set in
Okay,
talking with Donald. And this can be as he discusses things with not just me but others. Things like his body language, what he's talking about, how he approaches what he's talking about. Just generally, is he?
This is a con reading a con.
And is he giving us the full story? Those kinds of things.
All right. Well, I'll make you roll for that later after a bit more chat has been happening. But you're zoning in on that. You're trying to read him. Okay. He goes. I thank you all so much for coming along. I have unfortunately lost 3 members of my staff. While this place is haunted, it's never been dangerous before, and I worry about what's happened.
What do you mean lost? Like, you don't just lose people. I mean, did you try, like, using the, like, find my friends kind of feature or anything? Or, like, is this like, they were here and then they were just, like, not here?
Well, I suppose I should give you the rundown of events 2 nights ago. Overnight, 1 member of my staff vanished. She went to bed, and the next morning she was gone. No traces. No idea what happened. I thought maybe she'd snuck out, gone to do something, gone to a party, but she has not returned. Could not contact her. Her phone was left behind. This was Jess. No, sorry. This was Georgia. Georgia was one of my actresses. She played quite a small statured girl. She played the creepy little girl. You know how we're very multimedia here, so we have live performers mixed in. There's a whole lot going on. But she was the one. Every horror story you have to have the little girl with the straight hair and the cute dress and the singing nursery rhymes. That was her bit, and she was marvelous at it. Absolutely amazing. And gone, absolutely gone. Now, I'm an old theatre person myself. I know what we're like, particularly when we're young. But she wouldn't have missed call the next night. I didn't think about anything during the day, but she wouldn't have missed call. The following night, 2 members of my staff vanished, which is even more alarming. If the pattern goes, there's only 3 members of staff left here. So
Do they stay here at the house?
everyone stays here during the season, yes. Our bedrooms are on this floor. The experience is the top 2 floors in the basement. And so we only work in the off season, in the holidays. So we provide room and board for. That's why most of my staff are students. They stay at their university, and then during the holidays they come and they work for me.
What role did who were 2 and 3, and what role did they play in this?
Well, 2 and 3. First up was Brian. Brian was someone who wasn't a student. He was a bit older. He's worked for me for many, many years. He was my tour guide. He led people around. Not an actor by trade, just a very creepy person. Just eerie to look at, and really loved his history. Was willing to go along with all my ideas. Fantastic worker. Vanished from his room overnight, along with, again, not an actor, but my tech guy. This was Henry. Sorry, his name was Henry. We called him Hines. Hines was the guy behind the curtain. He ran a lot of the new stuff we've had installed. We've had to close down, I mean, obviously to investigate, but I don't know how I'm going to get this place up and running without him. Remaining myself. There is Jess here, who continues typing and does not look up. And my last remaining actor, Zeke, or Ezekiel, his proper name. He does a variety of roles. He's a bit of a physical actor that likes to dress up in costumes. He plays, the maniac outside the window and the creepy thing in the basement. He does a lot.
Okay, so I've lost
Well-
interest because I don't believe in sort of like all this like theatre of the paranormal. I believe in the real paranormal. Thank you very much. So I'm off. I've got my little sound recorder, just in case. Because that's something like a lot of ghosts, they operate right at the edge of human frequency. But old-fashioned analog recorders will pick them up. So I've got my little recorder out. I've got my EMF reader, and I'm sort of like just like following the vibes and following like where the spikes and sort of EMF and vibes are.
All right.
Spooky
So
vibes.
after this little bit of an intro, give me. I'm gonna. I'm not sure which one this would be, but I'm gonna let you. Let's just roll either sharp or charm. I'll let you pick. So
Okay.
you. No, sorry, not you. Sorry, I'm talking to just Chris, who's trying to get a read. So are you looking for tells, or are you being like I'm a player, I can read?
I'm a player. I can read. I got a 10.
10 total?
Yeah, so
Excellent,
either
well done.
+2 if it's charm or +1 if it's sharp.
Okay. You definitely get that this guy is someone who's very considered in what he's saying. He's not telling you anything he doesn't want to tell you, and you can see him deciding as he goes what to say and what not to say. You definitely get the feeling you're not getting the full story.
Well,
And I'll say, because there was a big success, I'll say in particular he seemed a little less composed when he was talking about Hines.
Creepy one?
He was the tech guy. Oh, I do have some questions for
Oh, no.
Donald.
Brian's the creepy one.
Yeah. So did they all disappear from their rooms, Donald? You mentioned that Brian disappeared from his room.
Yes, they all disappeared from their rooms.
How do you know they disappeared from their rooms?
Well, the last place we were aware of them was them going to bed at night. They just weren't there in the morning.
Can we see their rooms?
Evidence in their rooms of like any kind of disturbance? Did they go to bed, or is the room undisturbed?
The rooms are disturbed, but none of them were particularly tidy people.
And can we see them? I'm good at looking through trash.
What an odd way to describe your skill set. Yes, you are here to investigate this for me. So
Like everything is just like a various state of trash, and everything is stuff before it becomes trash. It's just like pre-trash, you know? Yeah, and I'm real good at it.
woefully depressing outlook on life.
That's great. Trash is treasure, you know, my friend? Trash is treasure.
It works for you, young thing. So let me show you to their rooms. Would you prefer for me to go with you, or are you better off investigating on your own? How would
Come
you
with
like?
us. Come with us.
My pleasure. All right, follow me. And he leads you down one of the two corridors you were eyeballing, Avery. You'd see down both of them, the corridors go largely straight, come to flat doors, and have doors leading off to the side. There was no door leading inwards. So there's some sort of space back there that maybe there's rooms to the back you can get in. You don't know how to approach. And he leads you down the left-hand side and opens up a room to what is essentially looks a bit like a cheap motel room. These aren't like the walls are nice, like it's part of a nice house, but it's a cheap metal frame bed with a cheap mattress, a table and a chair. There is a small cupboard that has a few books and bits, something. There's a few just personal objects, one picture frame face down, and a cupboard that has a few pairs of young women's clothes and a creepy little girl spooky dress hanging in it. And he goes, "This was George's room. Have a look around because they're only here for 2-3 weeks at a time regularly. There's not a lot of personal effects about."
So I'm gonna do a thing, and I would like to shapeshift into my raccoon form, so I can use all my raccoon senses to try and kind of get a feel of the room and investigate. They've got a pretty good sense of smell, touching a lot of things with my little raccoon hands.
Are you
So you
going
turn into
full
a raccoon.
raccoon, or are you like halfway between human and raccoon, like doing the rocket?
It's just like it's just like
Full
a
raccoon. Nice.
And so you go, and you're a raccoon.
Yeah.
Your various, your phone and your headphones and your hoodie and everything piles up on the floor, and a raccoon comes out, and Donald goes, "Oh my! What? That is quite the trick, young lady. Would you work? Can I hire her?" The rest of you, roll me a investigate check. So that's plus sharp.
Ooh.
Oh, great! That's 0. Except when I have when I'm and I've shapeshifted to investigate a mystery, then I get a +1.
Nice.
Then roll with a +1.
Oh no! I mean, yeah, okay. So yeah, that's a 4 plus. It's a 5.
Okay, so this is a failure.
Oh no!
6 or below fails, and
Oh no! Raccoon power failed me.
so you turn into a raccoon, and you immediately smell this incredibly potent scent coming from under the bed.
Oh, no.
And you dash under there, and there is in what you assume was her bags that she came here with. She'd packed a few sandwiches, hadn't looked in on them, and you are just having a wonderful time amidst her spare clothes and moldy bread, just tearing it up. And your instincts have taken over. You're useless for a while.
That raccoon instinct, you know? Yep.
Just
Powerful.
all sorts of awful sounds coming from under there.
Just
Is
really,
that
really wet chewing noises.
so? You're all in the room or standing in the doorway.
Yep.
Is this part of the process? What to the rest?
Absolutely. It's a standard thing. Can I also investigate a mystery?
Yeah. Well, yeah. What are you looking? Yeah, having a looking around. What are you looking at?
I'm looking around. I'm going to investigate the bed, and like maybe the window just to see if someone's come in.
Excellent. All right.
I'm gonna do my best to show off my
Give me-
one dice cam that I have because I don't have individual views from everybody. Here we go. So the one you can't see is absolutely a 5. So that's 10. You don't
10.
believe me, but it's a 10.
That's a big success.
If the one we
Alright.
can't see was a 5, and the one we could. Okay, I get it.
Because I get +1.
I can add up.
So, that's 2 answers.
Yep.
You asked to investigate 2 things, so
Yes.
I'll give you both. First up, the window is jammed.
Ooh.
Like, those old windows
Yep.
that you
Window will
And
never
looking-
open. Like
looking in
painted
it, you can
shut.
see, yeah, the last time that people have sort of done the walls here, like paint's gone over the thing, and this paint job doesn't look new. That window has not been opened in a long time. And looking at the bed, with that roll, I'll give you that sometimes you don't feel great about your life, and sometimes it's hard to get out of bed, and you can very much recognize like the state blankets are in if a body didn't sit up and get out of bed but instead just slumped out of bed. Whether that slump was done intentionally, whether they fell off the bed or whether they were dragged, you don't know, but this bed was slumped out of. Now, you're looking at the bed and you call people over to look at the window with you. You turn back around and Donald has gone missing. And at this point, you hear the sound of lightning striking outside. And there is a howl off in the distance.
It wasn't me.
You're alone in the haunted house. And that's where we're going to take our break. So, we're going to go to a break. When we do this at Smith's, we usually do quite a long break, and that's so you can talk to all your friends you're hanging out with and go to the bar and get some of those tasty things they sell and all of that. But we'll probably do a little quicker break this time. Let's say 15 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer. What's the actual time? All right, so 10 past 9, we will kick this back off. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you there. Hope you're enjoying it. We're just starting to get into it. Things are about to get spoopy. See you later.
Yeah. Hang on. No, the sound is being dumb again.
Uh-oh.
Try now. I'm sorry, I just
Try
ruined
now?
it completely for you.
Excellent. I had a lot of energy for that take. Hello! Welcome back to Roll for Intelligence. I don't know if you heard any of that or none of that. But we are doing a story. This is the second part of the first part of the story. So I guess the second part total, is it 4 parts or 2 parts with bits? I don't know. We're going to finish this story up next month on Halloween, by the way, which is why we're getting spooky. And it will continue to get spookier. But we were in the middle of a mystery. People have gone missing from this haunted house. Our heroes, mysteries first, have gone into a room to investigate, and their host vanished while they were looking at a window, or in Mayonnaise's case, having a very, very intense battle with a rotten sandwich. So we come back to find them standing in a room, lightning striking. The ad break has happened. They're all in slightly different positions. You don't know why they do that sometimes. One of them probably repeats a line they said before the ad break, but it's slightly different, and you just, why was that a thing? I should look that up later. Okay. Back to the episode. You are alone in this room. What do you do?
I want to listen back to my tape recorder.
You hear you all looking at a windowsill being like, yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's painted over.
And there's no ghostly whisperings.
No ghostly whisper. You hear lightning striking and wolves howling.
And no yoink
Okay.
noise.
Yoink.
No yoink noise.
I want to go through.
Well,
you
I'm
said
out
she
of
had some
ideas.
books. You said she
No,
had some books and a couple of personal effects. I just want to go through those and see if there's anything in there that may point towards something she was interested in this house, or something that she was interested in that may relate to disappearing.
Yeah. So you look through the books, and they are a number of mostly textbooks. You do find a book that is a sort of a trashy horror novel among them.
Or the haunting of Harridan Manor, is it?
It is not. It is not. But it's the Langoliers. Why
I'm
not?
about to say it's not that sort of creepy Amazon like raptor porn romance novels, is it?
Chuck Tingle?
No, nothing as awesome as Chuck Tingle. Now,
Wait, sorry,
Tingle's amazing.
that was way too judgy. You're right. I'm sorry.
yeah, how dare you? How dare you? In this house? No, so there is most notably a picture frame that is face down.
Oh,
I stand it up.
And you see a awkward, slightly blurry, but very sweet selfie of the who you assume is the missing girl, Georgia, and Jess, the girl you saw at the front desk, in a intimate embrace, standing outside on like a sunny day, just arms around each other, kiss on the cheek, one of them reaching out, taking a selfie of them.
Well, the girl at
Aw.
the front counter didn't seem very distressed, considering George has disappeared.
maybe she's a bit traumatized.
Am I
Right.
still like distracted by moldy sandwiches under the bed?
Yeah, you're having a great time.
Yeah, okay.
We say you defeat the sandwich by now, and you can return.
I take the picture out of the frame to have a look to see if there's anything written on it. You know how sometimes people write on the back
Yep.
of a picture?
Yeah, there's taking out the frame, you find a small message on the back. The photo is clearly taken by Jess. And the message on the back says, I know you wanted this photo because you're a big softie, so I guess here. And then a tiny, tiny little love heart.
Hi. Doesn't sound very committed.
She's trying her best.
So unrelated to the photo, can I just check my watch? I have like a Swiss quartz watch to because again I don't trust like the digital stuff.
Mhm.
So have we lost any time? You know, that's a very common issue when it comes to aliens. I just want to rule everything out here.
You have not lost any time.
Ooh,
But that was
not
good.
aliens.
Mm-hmm.
There is
Can
scribble in my
I
book.
can I please take the photo?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so I'm
still
gonna
recording?
scramble up and then grab the photo, and then I assume that I can't really
Remember
talk.
past Chris, because he's taking it out and holding it.
Yeah, I'm gonna like make motions to be like, gimme.
Sure,
Um,
Cosmayo. Here you go.
and I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna use like I don't know. I don't think I can talk when I'm in this raccoon form because I'm just like literally a raccoon. And I'm going to like maybe I can with my other hand just sort of pick up like one article of clothing from the floor. Because my hands are very small, and I'm gonna like run out to the where the reception was again, and just kind of like scramble up to her, and then just like put the photo in front and like just kind of like tap on it.
Is it ever a useful article of clothing that you grab too? Like, is
Who
it a
knows?
shift or is it always like a sock or a
I mean,
glove? Like,
I was gonna say, well, I mean, like mayonnaise, like usually wears just like kind of like baggy like street clothes to account for if they want to turn into like like a bigger form or something to sort of accommodate that. But obviously it's really hard to just constantly wear something that's really small because blood circulation and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna do that thing. And you know when like animals have that I can't like they do that thing with the hands, they like kind of like please kind of thing. I'm gonna put my little raccoon hands together and just be like and kind of gesture at this,
You grabbed
tap at it.
a random, like just big, bulky piece of material in the bag.
No, I grabbed one. I like because my clothes are on the floor. And I've
Your
grabbed
clothes.
I've grabbed one article of
Okay,
my clothing.
my mistake. So you run out there and you bounce up on the counter, and like she pushes her little wheelie chair back to the wall behind, and just goes, right. This is not even looking at the photo. Just like there's a raccoon in here. Zeke.
that's when
Zeke!
that's when Avery comes around the corner and is like, "Oh, mayonnaise, there you are."
And mayonnaise at this point, I've now kind of what article of clothing have I grabbed? Like, can I make it? Can I choose that or?
Roll me a d6.
Okay,
2d6s,
If
I
only
right?
rolled
we
a
had a
one.
chat of some description
I rolled a one.
where
I'm
suggestions
going,
could be.
yeah, I was going top down,
Yeah.
and what you're wearing on your head is a hood, so you would have grabbed your hoodie.
Okay, great. So I've now just kind of like as a raccoon dove into the hoodie and just like transformed back into human form.
Mm-hmm.
Hastily trying to pull down.
You're just Donald ducking it.
Yeah, but like I immediately squat down. It's like a really big hoodie. I squat down, and then I'm like, "That's your
Ah!
photo."
Will the will the
You
viewers
want, you
let
want...
Avery have brought the pants? Like, is Avery sufficiently used to this?
Avery emerges with a pair of trousers. Hands it over. She goes, oh, holy, that was cool. And this is the most animated you've seen her. And a few moments later, coming down one of the flights of stairs, a really, really like bizarrely lanky dude is walking down these stairs. Young guy, shaved head, tattoos down his arms, wearing a singlet and a pair of black trousers. Several piercings along his ears. Comes down like creepily thin. and goes, Jess, you called? What's with the naked girl? As you're scrambling back into a pair of pants, she's like, that girl was just a raccoon.
Yeah,
It's
it's a thing.
That sounds cool.
Like you know, it has its pros and cons, I suppose. But you know, it's sometimes it's just faster to travel like that, you know, because. But hey, so you know this person?
And she goes, what? And looks up, and Zeke goes, are we cool here? Like, you called out? I've got stuff. Who are these people here, Jess? She goes, investigators that Donald hired. Yeah, you can go, Zeke. He goes, right, cool. And wanders
What?
back up.
Wait. Sorry, Zeke, was it?
He stops and puts his head around and goes, yeah?
Hey, so my name's Mayonnaise, and we're just trying to like figure some stuff out. I mean, have you seen any weird stuff happening around here? I mean, it seems like, but besides like the people kind of going missing, because that is pretty weird. But also, you know, like if I like, you know, wouldn't you be worried?
Like, there's a lot of weird stuff here. That's why I like it.
But the people when they're just like, you know, just gone.
I think they just ran away.
What about their stuff, though?
Looks around and goes, is Donald here? And he walks down the stairs over towards you and goes, look, this place isn't doing well. Financially, I mean. He hasn't paid us in a while. They just left. There's no mystery. He's wasting your time.
Does he seem like he's telling the truth?
Roll me a check.
5 plus 1.
Can't get any sort of read on him. He's just sort of creepy and intense is all you get off him. You're not...
I want to keep asking, who was the desk person? Was it Jess?
Yeah.
With the photo, like, how does she react to it? Like seeing this photo.
You bring her attention to the photo again. She goes, oh, yeah, you were holding... She sees it and goes, yeah, so what?
I mean, aren't you worried that she's missing?
I think Zeke's right. I think she just ran away. We're not... That was a while ago when we were together. We're not together anymore. Zeke goes, so we cool? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, thanks, babe, and wanders off upstairs.
Dun dun dun.
I wanna see if she's like actually like being aloof and cool about the disappearance. Like if she's trying to like cover it. Like if she's trying to like hide her feelings.
From the second you walked into this building, she's done nothing but her best effort to seem aloof and cool. Like, I'm not going to make you roll for that. She is trying everything about her persona is tailor-made to give you the message that she doesn't care about this and she wishes you were gone.
Okay.
Can I use my call a lifeline?
You got to call a lifeline?
Okay. So I've run through my little checklist of like my paranormal checklist, and I'm like, it's probably not aliens because we didn't have any we didn't lose any time. I don't hear any ghost voices in my tape recordings, and we were at the event when someone disappeared, and if there was ghosts, I should have heard something at least, some static, some like weird whispers, but nothing. So my third option, I want to so I noticed that there was some interesting EMF readings, and I also noticed there was like some weird Wi-Fi signals going on. So I want to call my friends that are deep in like the dark net, like hacking communities, I have a lot of those friends because they understand me. They know there's stuff going on out there. Yeah, so I want them to like help me hack into the mainframe.
I'm going to say your deep web friends are people who go on the same message board as you that is called deep web. But yes, you can get in touch with them.
Yeah.
What are you asking them?
Okay, so when I contacted a net friend to help me with a mystery, I can roll charm, but I can also use sharp instead of charm. So I just want them to help me, so they can help me fix something, break a code, hack a computer, or get me some special information.
All
So
right.
I just want them to help me sort of like hack into the web of Wi-Fi's. I'm not the hacker. They are. So I'm just gonna tell them what's going on and tell them like, I want to see what's going on here. There's a lot of Wi-Fi's.
All
There's
right.
a lot of
Roll me-
signals everywhere.
Roll me an investigative mystery check.
Okay. Ooh, it's a 7, +2 for my sharp, so it's a 9.
Yes, that's a mixed success. So yeah, you send the message out, and they're like, right, we're on it. We're going to go digging. We've got to find out what we can about this place.
Cool.
All right. While that's happening, I want to hit up the receptionist
Mhm.
because we're here to investigate. She knows we're here to investigate, and there must be staff files of some form on everyone. I just want to get a photograph of everyone, like all the people who are here, whether they've disappeared, all the staff, whether they've disappeared or not. And because I'm going to send those photos with their names to my crew and get them to do background checks on everyone, including Donald. Just looking for anything that could point to something suspicious going on with them, whether it's financial things, stuff in their family, people that have disappeared from their family, just a full background check, like we would do when conducting business to understand who we're conducting business with.
All right. You roll me a check for that as well. She goes, I don't have records on them, but here's their names. Like, just look at their Facebooks.
Okay, so will she confirm their Facebook is the right Facebook? Because I haven't seen some of these people.
Yeah.
All right.
Depends on how good you roll.
10 plus 1, so 11.
Right.
Oh,
So mayonnaise, you're asking about this. You two are on the phone. I'm going to go Avery.
Yes,
You've handed a pair of pants over.
I have.
And while everyone's getting very intent about chatting to Jess, you hear a very odd creaking coming from up the stairs.
Oh. Well, fortunately, don't worry, I'll check it out.
And so while everyone's distracted, you start wandering up these stairs and you end up on the second floor and a very long corridor, eerily lit, flickering candles along the place. No electric lighting going on. At the end of one of the corridors, you can see sort of the silhouetted moon through the glass, and spooky shadows come down the corridor as the limbs of a tree scratch against it. You start wandering around, pull your little torch out, start investigating, and you hear the creak coming from closer towards that window. As you inch down the corridor, suddenly you hear behind you a small stab of organ music. Spinning around for a second, there is a blurred shape, some sort of ghostly apparition zaps through from one side of the corridor to the other. And then as you've turned your back to look at that, you hear the creak coming from the door behind you as well. And there's a clunk, and it's loud. Which direction do you go?
I'm going to investigate the creak and the clunk. I'm going to turn around behind me.
All right, and you go to open the door. All right, so we come back. Just Chris. with your success, you confirm that your people find very quickly the Facebook accounts of everyone who's missing except Brian, but they do find employment records stating he worked here. He was just a bit older, didn't have a Facebook. Sorry, just burped. That was amazing. Did that on stream. Well
Didn't
done,
even
Joel.
hear it.
Oh wow, I covered it, and then I drew attention to it.
Yeah.
Professional. Now, you also don't find a Facebook account for Zeke.
Of
In
course
fact,
you don't. Like he would
nothing.
have one.
On Zeke. You find no Facebook account for Jess, but you find other social media for her, but it's largely empty of anything personal. You only really was worked out that it was her by her being tagged in photos taken by Georgia. You can see that they were in a relationship, it seems like up until quite recently. But you can't nail down when. Mox, your crew do some quick searches and they come up with a whole bunch of stuff. They go, right, so that place, super haunted.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So we looked up the page. Apparently, in the 1900s, there was an actual duke who still lived there, and he snapped one night and he killed all the servants in the house. He killed all his family, and then he killed himself. And he dragged all their bodies into the basement where he did some crazy ritual with them. And some people say it was because he found that his wife was with one of the servers, but I don't think so. People who know what they're talking about say he was like crazy and with the occult, and that like he summoned something into him that possessed him and made him do it. And the place legit haunted, really cool. The current people who are there, there's been lots of reno, lots of tech work going on. This guy Hines, bit of a gun in his local university. He is like the sound visual guy. He's just awesome. Does lots of stuff for gigs. Sets up lots of audio visual stuff. Really like well known. Lots of animation, kind of cool stuff. But yeah, sad he's gone missing. I looked at his YouTube page. It was awesome.
Interesting. And I asked, what about the Wi-Fi's?
So yeah, if Hines was there, he would have that place like a lot of stuff set up. I suspect there's a lot of things he's got working behind the scenes.
Okay. I start thinking about. So I'm interested because I think maybe this is my theory. Currently, I'm sort of like making my little notes. Like maybe all like the modern technological stuff is interfering with the old like haunted occult stuff, and like vice versa. So I'm just like thinking, like talking out loud to myself. But yeah, so
Does this mean if we like cut the power, maybe it'll like bring to life any like haunted activity?
let's cut the power. I'm psyched.
You hear
Is there? Do we also notice that that Avery is not there?
well, not just yet, but you guys are chatting about this. Are you chatting about this directly in front of Jess?
Yeah, probably. I haven't moved. I'm just like on my phone, like.
Don't.
Yeah, because she's like aloof and not paying attention, right?
Yeah. Look, maybe don't cut our power.
While they're chatting in front of Jess about that, I want to go and search the rooms for the other two people who are missing. And I presume they said the rooms are on the ground floor. They're not hard to
you can wander down and have a look at those.
Yeah.
You go so down the same corridor. There are more doors, and you start peeking inside. I'll cut back over to Avery. You open this door
Oh my
and you
god.
find yourself in a study. There's a long wall of bookshelves along one side. There is a grand portrait of a stern-looking man who you can tell that's who Donald was dressed up as. And there is one of those old-style writing desks with the sort of wooden slats, curvy thing you pull up over the top. And next to it on one side is a globe, and next to it on the other side is a full-on suit of armor standing there with a sword.
I'm going to check out the portrait. Does it just look like that's what Don was dressed as, or does it look like Don?
It's a very romanticized portrait, but you don't think it's the face in this portrait is a lot more pointed. The hairline's all different. You don't think it's the same person. Person in this portrait, actually looking at the sort of the layout of them, they look much taller.
Okay.
Whereas Donald was a bit more of your average height,
Yep.
a little bit stockier because he's a little bit older.
Cool. I would like to investigate the desk and see if I can see any clues.
Yeah, so you wander over and you pull the thing up, and inside you can see that this desk has, like at an easy glance, you can see that this desk has been set up as a prop. Like there's nothing in the drawers. There's like a little ink well that has no ink in it, and a feather that isn't actually a quill sat in there. It looks good. There are a bunch of little vials, and there are some scrolls wrapped up that don't have anything written on them.
So it's all like the 3-meter test.
Yeah.
Yep. I will then investigate the suit of armor.
Okay. So you finish looking at these scrolls, and you place them back down, and you turn to look at the suit of armor, and the suit of armor turns to look at you.
It was definitely a good idea to split the party.
And we'll cut back to you guys in the foyer deciding whether you guys are having a discussion over whether you're going to cut the power. Actually, we'll go to just Chris searching through the bedrooms.
Yep.
You find them in similar states when you find the rooms of the people vanished. So all the rooms, the windows are sealed. You find a room that you assume to belong to Zeke. That, just based on the clothes in the wardrobe, completely sparse, nothing in it. You find Brian.
Zeke hasn't disappeared, has he? Zeke's the tall guy.
Yeah. You find Brian, the tour guide who vanished's room.
Yeah.
It has again, other than clothes and general effects, you see a few books on like local history and things like that. Nothing that really grabs you out of the ordinary. And then you find what you believe must be Henry's room. And his cupboard is full of big band t-shirts and jeans. You see gadgets strewn all over the place, a much bigger desk, stuff everywhere, notes that you can barely make out. There's all sorts of sprawled stuff. For the 3 rooms, we'll take 1 investigation check.
All right. 10.
10. So you've looked at 4 rooms now. And you notice something about Henry's room that doesn't match the others. Other than, there's a lot more stuff in it. There's a lot less of certain things. The other rooms, you got the feeling that everything was still there, that if they'd run off, they hadn't taken anything. Like, there was roughly what you imagine would be the right amount of clothes to spend a couple of weeks at a job. Their phone was there, their wallet might have been there. The general, stuff you put in your pockets when you leave. It looks, there's a bunch of empty hangers in Henry's cupboard. His phone isn't there, his wallet isn't there. This actually looks like the room of a person who took some stuff and left.
Can I go through all his stuff? I would understand from the rest of the people that, he's the tech guy and that he set up all the technology here, or at least was interacting with it. I'm looking for passwords and things that would let me log into any kind of Wi-Fi setup for controlling what's going on here. Because what I'm really looking for is if he's got any recording equipment that's been going, or cameras, those kinds of things.
Okay. You rolled an excellent investigation check, so you can just have this. You find a lot of notes. The notes are largely measurements. They are the notes of someone building something who needed to put some information down. You don't like any good person with any sort of technical understanding or know-how. He does not write his passwords down on bits of paper. There's nothing in his room that he records himself with. You find things that work as recording equipment, but they're not plugged in, they're not on. And mostly they're pulled apart.
Can I make out anything from the measurements at all?
Yeah, you look through and you see some designs for, some of them you can sort of see on the drawings that he's building various bits and pieces. He's building animatronics that might move. He's measuring rooms. He's working out where lights are going to go. This is stuff to set up a show. He's got plans for a piano that plays itself. Things like that. This is the guy who's building the spooky stuff for this place.
So it looks like he's actually been doing the job.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I go back to everyone with that information.
All right.
Specifically, he's the only one that's run off, including Avery, my son. I'm wondering where he is.
So, quick time check. What time did we start?
10 past.
10 past. Cool. All right. So you go back into the foyer when you find these two. At this point, Jess is going to just be like, "Oh, if you will never leave." She closes her laptop, stands up, and walks down towards where her room is. And the three of you are left alone in the foyer. I think at this point, you'd probably, after sharing what you found in the rooms and discussing your plan of whether you're going to cut the power to the place, that's when the three of you would realize, where's Avery? And we will cut back upstairs and go back in time a little bit to Avery. You've just turned, and this suit of armor has turned to look at you. What do you do?
I cry out a little bit.
As you cry, that stab of organ music starts playing upstairs, and crackling lightning happens outside the windows, and your cries are drowned out.
I want to look around behind the armor.
And as you move, it takes a step towards you. And it raises the sword it was holding in front of it and turns it around slowly to wield it.
I will duck and roll to one side.
Yeah, you are the door. It is not between you and the door if you want to try and get away. if you want to try and fight or something else.
I think
Come on
Avery
with
would want to run away.
All right. And here, despite the fact that organ music's playing, we get suddenly just this really cheap, lo-fi 70s rock soundtrack when we get into the classic part of every Scooby-Doo episode where there's a chase scene in a haunted corridor. Where up and down the corridor you run, ducking in and out of rooms, pulling, hiding behind things, it running into a room, you running out the wrong room. We're going to see if it catches you. This is going to be a act under pressure roll. Unless you've got some cool mundane ability that changes this. This is a roll plus cool.
So
Oh my gosh, Avery.
I don't. I've already done the don't worry, I'll check it out.
All right.
What could go wrong is whenever you charge into immediate danger without hedging your bets, I can reduce things. You know what? I'm going to. So it's going to be the Scooby-Doo, and then after a moment, I'm going to look at the big mag light in my hand, and I'm going to turn and I'm going to wait behind a door for it to come past, and I'm going to try and clock it as it comes past. So
all right.
What could go wrong?
We'll make 2 rolls here. The first is the chase.
Mhm.
So this is act under the pressure. Can you get away and hide? And then we'll make an attack.
So I got an 8,
Excellent.
and I
that's
don't have
after
any
you-
bonus to my cool, but when I do with what could go wrong, I can add 2
All right.
on an act under pressure roll.
Okay.
So that's a 10.
So
So the chase
that's a
is
10.
a 10.
That's a success. So you running, this chase goes up and down, and you manage to avoid getting caught by this thing. And eventually pulling a curtain, as you duck back into the corridor, you get behind a curtain, you stand there, and you wait for crunk, crunk. The armor comes back out. And you know what? This isn't a roll, because, so here's a cool thing about these games. Like, it's not like D&D, we have to roll to hit and roll to do damage. You only roll if there's a chance of failure. I'm going to say this big, chunky suit of armor, there's no chance of you not hitting it when it doesn't know you're there, and you're just whacking it over the back of the head. So, this is an improvised weapon hit with a hand weapon, which I believe is, I think that was 1 damage.
Yeah, 1 harm. I think I've left my nunchucks in the van, maybe, or I'm not thinking. I've got my nunchucks tucked down the back, but I've got my torch in my hand. My flashlight. Sorry.
So if it's, I mean, it's not a weapon designed to kill, but I'm going to say this is like hitting someone. This is dangerous. So I'll give you 2 damage for this. So whack! You smack it over the back of the head. There's a loud boom, and it stumbles forwards a bit. And you know what? No, you actually rolled really well. So we'll say that it falls over, allowing you to get past and run as it face plants.
Except you said I hid behind a curtain, so I want to put the curtain over the top of it.
Oh yes, this is getting classic Scooby-Doo. All right, boom! It falls down. You throw the curtain over it, and you give it a quick wrap.
Yep.
At this point, we'll say you guys realize, and you rush upstairs, hearing this loud crash, and you find Avery sitting on top of a wrapped up, looks like a human under there, wrapped in a curtain.
Like, armor chased me. Armor under there. Someone take the helmet off. I'm sitting on its back, so it can't get up. Take off the
Let's
helmet.
take the helmet off.
I run up.
You guys run up, and you pull the layers of the curtain back, and you see the knight helmet. Now, at this point, traditionally in the genre, you would say who you think it is before unmasking them. Does someone want to make a guess?
Donald.
You think it's Donald?
Oh, Heinz.
Heinz?
I think it's a robot.
Mine ran off. I'm pretty sure he's gone.
Ran off to be a suit of armor.
So all right, we
I'm
got.
just gonna yell the last name that I knew, which was Jeff.
All of you go. You all say a different name.
Yeah, I'll say Zeke, seeing we've all got somewhere. Yeah, just throw Zeke in there.
You grab the pointy bit at the front of the helmet, and you pull it back, and inside. We'll find out next. No.
Oh
Oh,
God!
that's what I was hoping for.
Inside, you find Donald.
Ooh.
Donald!
Thank you. This suit, it grabbed me. It's
You're in the
very
suit.
haunted in here. And
What, and
Very
then-
haunted in here.
it's very haunted in here. You hear the stab of organ music again, and zipping down the corridor is the ghostly apparition that zooms past in the dim light, and zooms off and disappears around another corner.
Is it exactly
EMF
the same
reader.
direction?
So going down the corridor back towards the room you originally found this in.
Did the apparition look like anyone in particular?
It was sort of this floating, ghostly shape. It's very dark in here. It's hard to tell. It sort of glowed vaguely.
Can I whip out my EMF reader? I'm like, try to chase, like, follow it. Anything?
Nothing.
I'm very suspicious.
And he goes, "There's ghosts all over the place. You must help me out of this. Help me up. Oh, I'm glad you found me. Maybe this is how the other people were vanished. They were grabbed by this armor." And then you see the apparition zoom past again. He's like, "Look!" And then at this point, it smacks into a wall, spins off randomly, and lands. And you see, as it bounces across the ground, what is clearly a drone with some lighting effects and some material draped over it. And he goes, well, look, okay. Maybe I haven't been entirely clear with you.
Can I go and pick it up?
Yeah, it's a device. It's been made. It's
So
like,
I take the drone out and I put the sheet over me. It's
You
still
look
got the
very-
drone in hand, and then I kind of like squat down in front of him, and I'm like,
right, okay.
What's the truth, Donald?
I'm just like staring intently, just like,
I'm conveying complete honesty, and I want to be helpful. I'm using all my charm to encourage him to tell us the complete and unvarnished truth from his perspective. And I am charming.
The business wasn't doing well. I've been losing a lot of money, and then I put so much money into revamping this place.
so
I
does this mean
needed
you're
to-
losing? Sorry.
I needed to do well this holiday season, and it was okay. But then, two of my staff ran off, and I couldn't keep the place running without them. And so I came up with an idea, and I thought, well, 3 would work better. It's a much spookier number, and so I got Henry to hide. He's fine. He's in the cupboard, and he's running the special effects. And we're like, oh, how could they be happening? He's not here. I can't run them. You can see all of us here. And then I thought if you came and investigated, the cops already went through the place. They didn't find anything. They just think they've left. I called in missing persons report. I'm not a monster, but I thought maybe I could get. I heard of you in the spooky event scene, and I thought if you guys came and went, oh yeah, this place is definitely haunted. People managed, that might drum up a bit of. So I've just got. It's just, look, I'm just gonna. And he slowly pushes himself upright. He goes, I was just trying to scare you, Avery. I'm very sorry. And he goes. He reaches inside the collar and pulls out a little radio and goes, Hines, turn the lights on. Also, terrible work crashing that last drone. He goes, look, is there any way we can make sure that this doesn't get out? The lights don't turn on.
Ooh.
Hines, I said turn the light on. I don't know where the other two went. That is a bit of a mystery, but
Can you take us to the cupboard?
Where's the control
Where
room?
Yeah.
yeah, there's a hidden room behind my office.
Let's go there.
Help me out.
For the bit, Donald? Like, is this? Are you still, doing the whole like, ooh, spooky?
Well, I can't. Hines, let's go check on
I'll
it.
help him up.
Yeah,
So that we
we're
can
helping
get to
him
the
up so
office.
we can go
It's
and do
picked
it.
up,
Yeah.
and he leads you downstairs. You turn down the other corridor, and you head into the back, which has his office. Which is quite a nice room. Built into sort of this bedroom. You think this might have been a bit of a dining area originally, but he's turned it into this large bedroom office area. And then there's a door leading between those two corridors where you couldn't see an entrance before, hidden behind a bookshelf. He lifts down a book, and there's a creak open. He's like, I've had this plate. Like, there were a lot of these already. I've had so many more put in. It's great. And it opens.
I'm impressed. I'm definitely impressed.
And he pulls out some keys and goes to put in the lock. He goes, oh, it's my key's missing. He opens the door, and inside you see a completely awesome tech setup. There are monitors everywhere. There are remote controls. You can see footage of different parts of the place. You can see various little feeds. You can see little sound boxes with various words like boo and bats written on them. You see all sorts of stuff going on. Half-finished animatronic skeletons in the corner. This guy's been working hard. He's like, I brought Heinz on at the end of last holiday season, and I've had him working for me for a long time getting this set up. We had a lot of ideas. He's not supposed to leave while there are guests here. There's no one in the chair. I'll say that mayonnaise.
Yep.
This isn't hard for you. You smell blood. And going over,
I follow my nose.
going over to the chair, there's
no.
a splatter of blood next to it. And you notice, while the place is messy, you realize that some of the, there's bits of trash everywhere. He obviously eats a lot in here and leaves the boxes around. But what you'd originally assumed was just like an old empty can of like soft drink is surrounded by a pool of liquid that's getting into like his mouse and keyboard. Looks like there was a struggle here recently because it's still wet. And at this point, you all hear a scream coming from downstairs. Donald's eyes go wide and he goes, this is... And he takes off running. He goes, Heinz! Heinz, what's happened? Runs out into the main foyer, goes to a door that was opposite Jess's desk. Jess is not there. And goes, the basement. This is the way down to the basement. And tries to open this cupboard. This door, sorry, not cupboard. And the door is latched. And he goes, we can get around through the back entrance. Runs to the front door. Throws the front door open. And where you should see the night sky. And you should see the big spooky trees, and you should see the dark foreboding clouds, and you should see your incredibly funky looking van that you drove here in parked out the front. You instead see a massive void.
Sandworms?
With small points of burning light flickering in and out of the blackness.
Oh, dang.
Screams.
I knew it!
And that's where we'll end tonight's episode. that was tonight's episode of Roll for Intelligence. If you didn't get here at the start, we've been playing a very cool game called Monster of the Week. It's a RPG game made in like this sort of narrative system. It's much more simple to play. If you want to play games with your friends, I didn't know all the rules. I made a lot of that up. I just sort of got the basic concept, and that's fine. That's all you need. Do it. Play games with your friends. It's fun. Speaking of friends, another call out. Go check out Az's channel, Draw Time. He does lots of cool stuff for us. It's on Facebook. He's a great friend of ours and of the show. Thank you to my friends here. Let's give them a round of applause for their amazing work tonight. So let's put our hands together and we'll go the other order than the way I came in. So thank Helen! Ewan!
Yay!
Sharona! Oh! You all for tuning in. I hope you're all doing okay. Thank those of you who've chipped in to our Ko-Fi account. If you haven't, if you again weren't there at the start and you feel like throwing us a few dollars for this, if you can't, that's absolutely fine. We're doing this because we enjoy it and we want you to enjoy yourselves, so absolutely fine. But if you can spare us some money because we're not being able to sell tickets to our events at the moment and it'll help us keep things going, that's Ko-Fi is ko-fi.com/roll4intelligence. My name's Joel. It's been a delight hanging with you. Is there anything I'm missing, gang? This is outside of our usual wheelhouse, so it feels odd. We've covered it. We'll be
next
back
Sunday, the 31st is part 2.
31st.
Sunday the 31st
Sunday,
for a
31st
Also,
October.
Halloween adventure.
and a big round for Joel for running this.
Thank you.
Yay! This is the Auslan like applause, by the way, because I don't want to like clap into my mic.
We'll go with that. Awesome. All right. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the spooky season. I've been looking forward to it. I hope you're looking forward to it. We'll see you on Halloween, and we'll get spooky, and we'll find out what this spooky void is all about. Goodbye. Now, I said that, but I'm not the one clicking the...